Greetings, 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 everybody. Another beautiful Sunday evening. What's wrong with this thing? Greetings, 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 everybody.
My name is Noel Chang. I'm a constable attached to the Mobile Reserve Division and the JCF SWAT team. I've been a member of this team for 2 fulfilling years. The training, of course, would have helped me to grow as well. I find it to be very fulfilling playing an active role in the crime fight and in developing my nation. Join the JCF and start a career.
All right, so greetings, everybody. Greetings, 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 greetings. Greetings and peace. Profound, positive vibrations and positive sound. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Sharon Davis, how you do? Good to see you. Donna, Christy, how are you? Don, you're in the building. Jacko, my friend, my virgin, my brother. Big up yourself. Desmond Donaldson, how you doing? It's a pleasure to have you guys on this evening again. Another Sunday, another evening that we'll discuss Whatever come to mind, whatever is on the table, we'll talk about it. We'll give our perspective on it. Now, so much to talk about. Maroon. They are compound Maroons. They are in the news big time. Chief Curry. They call him the Dream. He's in the building. He is in the news big time. And so much more. A lot to talk about. Vaccine, and more vaccine. Have you been vaccinated? Last week we had a show of hands, and a lot of persons on here was vaccinated. So if you have taken your vaccine, just indicate on the screen that you've been vaccinated. Huh? So vaccine. If you're vaccinated, let us know. Greetings again, everybody. Welcome. We thank you all for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chops Media. Yes, Chops Media, our YouTube and Instagram page, Chops Media. Subscribe and press that notification bell. That simply means when we're live or when we post new material, you will be notified. Al Buckner, big up yourself. Good to see you. Who else we got? We got a bunch of folks on. Desmond, we see you. Paul Steele is in the building. Big up yourself. Canada is in the building. Paul Steele saying, I am fully vaccinated. Yes, love it. Mala, big up yourself. Donna, yes. Donna Christie said, look, I've been vaccinated since February. So she was among the first group of persons, if she's in Jamaica, to be vaccinated. JJ Mack, good to see you. Good to see you. You got some long-time people who've always supported the chopping block. They are on. They are in the building. They are live. So good to see you guys. Kevin Williams is in the building, the man from East. Big up yourself. Kevin, he got his job today. All right. So we are getting vaccinated and we are contributing in getting Jamaica back to some semblance of normalcy. Not just Jamaica, but the rest of the world. So blessings. Taylor says Monday. Navi says, yeah, I guess Navi is also vaccinated. Pattison says fully vaccinated. Prosperity King says fully vaccinated. Yes, we love it. So if we have 150, 200 persons on live here with us, and everybody here is vaccinated, then that's a good sign because each one will tell one. Yeah, each one will tell one, and that is how we're going to grow. That is how we're going to get to herd immunity because that's our goal. That's our goal, is to get to herd immunity. So that we can get back to normalcy. You know, the Kenroy Thomas, Kenroy saying soon, he's gonna get his soon. Hurry up, Kenroy, there's a new strain of COVID out there and we don't want that to catch anybody. We've been posting a lot of stuff that is educational to inform people. You know, one of the things, when this whole COVID campaign started, there was a proposal on the table to have a multi-billion-dollar multi-millionaire billion-dollar campaign for sensitization and promotion. In other words, to go out there and to tell people what the vaccine is all about. So if you're vaccinated, just write fully vax, and we're good. Fully vax. If you're fully vax, just say fully vax. If you're not vaccinated, you need to press the exit button, get off of town. Get out of town if you're not vaccinated, because we want nobody on this live to catch that virus. So if you're not vaccinated and you have access to vaccine and choose not to take it, get out of town. Get out of town. You don't need to be here. This conversation is for persons who are vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated and you have access to vaccine and refuse to take it, adios. No welcome. No Buddha. No need to be here. This is for persons who wants the world to be a better place. So we're not doing this for views. We're not doing this for likes. So if you're not vaccinated, and that's by choice, then you've choose the wrong channel. You don't need to be here. Adios. Bye. This is for persons who are vaccinated, right? Last week I said persons who have access to vaccine and refuse to take it should foot them own bill. A lot of persons are up in arms about it and think that I went a little bit too far. But if you have access to the vaccine and you exercise your democratic right not to take it, then business owners, taxpayers also should exercise their right not to pay for your bill. Now, here's what some people say to me that makes sense. They say, well, Chopper, the person who choose not to be vaccinated also pay taxes otherwise. So you cannot not say they're not supposed to have access to the health care. That's a very, very good point. And at the time, that's a very, very valid point. You have to, when you get these sort of pushback, you have to readjust your position on the issue. We're talking about in the workplace, for example, if you ought to be tested to verify and all that good stuff, then, by the truth of the matter is that you ought to pay for it at that level. I don't think we can push you out the hospital because you would have paid taxes otherwise. So that I will give that to those anti-vaxxers. But for this space right here, we control this space. So 150 of you all online. And if there's anybody in the group that have access to vaccine and refuse to take it because you're an anti-vaxxer, you've logged on to the wrong channel. So pack your bag and go. This is for persons who want to make this world a better place. Anthony, big up yourself, my brother. Good to see you, man. I'm happy you're on. And I hope you're getting well. So good to see you, sir. Shireen, how are you? George Paje, big up yourself. Original Yapis. The man who they refer to as the Vanguard. For those of you who don't know, it's a long story there. The Vanguards. And when we get into the real politics, people say they want to see what's on the front of my cap. I'm not going to show you what's on the front of my cap. My cap will stay this way for now. Because like this evening, I'm a rude boy. Militant. Yes. Yes. Militant like my militant like my friends over there in that compound. Big up yourself, Anthony. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you up and about. Michelle Dixon, how you doing? Blessings on you. Jay Ann, I see you. You are in the building. If you're fully vaxxed, all you need to type is fully vaxxed and you're in. That's the admission to get in on this conversation this evening. Fully vaxxed. If you're not fully vaxxed, we're going to escort you out. As George Yapis would say, we're going to allow you to walk the plank. We're going to lead you out. Well, blessings, everybody. Blessing. Good to have you. Kevin McLean, good to see you as well. Claudia Wood, good to see you. Paul Steele, fully vaxxed, yes, my brother. Respect for that. Anthony Mays, what's up? Good to see you, man. And Michelle Dixon, one love. One leave already? Who was that? Let's call them out, man. We don't fear nobody, you know. If we have one who exit a while ago, let's call them out, man. Name them and shame them. You are either a part of the solution or you're a part of the problem, right? You can either help this world to heal from COVID or you can contribute to the long fight against COVID. You decide. Yeah, man. Militant, Georgie. Ever militant. No. The big elephant in the room is a compound Maroons and the treaty that was signed back in 17 38 or 39, somewhere thereabout. But it's way back. And the Maroon are now exercising what they say is their democratic right to sovereignty. I just have a breaking news here. And I didn't want to say it before it was confirmed, but it is saying that the Speaker of the House, Trelawney's Member of Parliament, Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, has been charged with illegal dumping of garbage. What was that? And Ms. Dalrymple has denied the allegations. Illegal dumping of garbage. Come on. That's what we're getting. News just in that the Speaker of the House, MP Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, has been charged with illegal dumping of garbage. Ms. Dalrymple Filbert has denied those allegations. So for those of you who was wondering and who had some other information sending me, there you have it. She has been charged for illegal dumping of garbage, and she has denied those charges. So we will see how that one goes. All right. So that's news just coming in, and we have to break it to you as we get it. It seems that the Speaker of the House of Representatives Trelawney's Member of Parliament, Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, has been charged with the breaches of the Solid Waste Management Act. The charge of illegal dumping came after an individual emerged from a vehicle which Ms. Dalrymple Filbert has been a passenger. She was a passenger and was seen dumping garbage in an area of Salem in St. Anne, where they were reportedly a garbage pileup. The vehicle was approached by the police personnel, and Ms. Dalrymple Filbert reportedly indicated to the police that she was of the view that the area was a disposal site, which was frequently used by trucks from the National Solid Waste Management Authority. However, police reportedly told Ms. Dalrymple Filbert that that was not so. Oh yeah. All right. So there you have it, folks. Nothing to be too alarmed about. I think that's the police is doing what they need to do, and I am quite confident that the very well learned speaker would know best how to deal with that bit of information. So just coming into us, as you heard me say a while ago, that the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Member of Parliament, Marissa Dalrymple, the firebrand Speaker who ruled that House, yes, not with the iron fist, with the iron fingers, has been charged with some illegal dumping stuff. Nothing there to call home about. Just a moment there. Let me just take a quick break, take this quick important phone call, and I'm going to come right back to you. Just stand by, and I'm going to come right back to you in just a quick moment. We take a break, and we'll come right back. Stand by, guys.
My name is Noel Chang. I'm a constable attached to the Mobile Reserve Division and the JCF SWAT team. I've been a member of this team for 2 fulfilling years. The training, of course, would have helped me to grow as well. I find it to be very fulfilling playing an active role in the crime fight and in developing my nation. Join the JCF and start a career.
All right, so thank you guys for staying with us, but we had to take that quick one a while ago just to confirm a couple of things that we had in discussion. So there you go. So for those who had other information and for those who are running with some other information, it has nothing to do with that. It's just some, I would call it frivolous charges, because that doesn't seem to me like it can hold water anywhere. So there you have it. So a lot for us to dive into, and we're not going to get distracted. We're going to go back to the elephant in the room, the treaty for the Maroon community, dated back to the 17th century, actually, where the Maroons were given land up in a compound town. And for those of you who don't know, like some people who are claiming to be Maroon, who are associating themselves with Maroon, I am not doing no such thing. I am Maroon. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So this is not some trying to associate myself. No, not doing any such thing. I am from that tribe, and my brother still resides in that area. Uncles, aunties, cousins, nephews, nieces, everybody. So let me just put that out there just to make sure it's clear. So we're not some imposters trying to associate ourselves with a group that we have no business associating ourselves with. So I want to get into this whole issue of the treaty. That treaty, which was signed by the Maroon community way back. And now the Maroon decide that, you know, what is so funny is when you look at the direction in which sorry about that, guys. When you look at the direction in which the Maroon colonel is leading its people, it leaves a lot of questions. Let me just tell you this clearly. I think those people deserve better leadership. And I'm not here to knock Chief Curry or whomever it is. But politics should not be the basis on which that community is led. It should not be politically motivated. And what you see coming out of it now is deep politics. If you understand it, you will know. It should not be politically motivated. I would love to ask, not just Chief Curry, and for those, I've invited him on so we can have a discussion on the issue. He never ever respond, because who am I for him to be mindful of? That's okay. But here's the deal. For years, these people have claimed sovereignty of that space, that piece of land, some 1,500 acres, right? For many, many years. A lot of folks are saying my camera is a little bit blurry, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. But I'm going to fix it, and let me just fix this camera real quick, and I'm going to come right back. Stand by. Don't move.
Hey, it's the girl Shensia with a message to you from myself and the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Shen Yangs, everyone see wear a mask with the numbers drop. I don't want COVID, lay your dung flat. Nose and mouth, you fi cover up that. Oh, 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 sanitizer. hospitalized. Fight the virus and fight for your life, yeah. Nobody talk about say you no response no more. Don't be reckless, cause you test us so you know have you can still get the virus from somebody. Don't be reckless, cause you test us so you know have you can still get the virus. So keep the numbers down, protect yourself and the people around. COVID in town, 6 feet apart and 6 feet in the ground. Keep the numbers down, protect yourself and the people around. COVID in town, 6 feet apart and 6 feet in the ground. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
Who comes to us for help will be attended to with urgency and respect, no matter their circumstance. And so, on this special day, let us pause to recognize the over 4,900 women, many of them mothers, who proudly served the JCF and Jamaica. I admire your fortitude and your dedication, and wish for you success and fulfillment.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. All right. All right.
This is what you've been waiting for. A chance to change your point of view and take the break you deserve at Jamaica's resorts and attractions. When you can open your door to the seaside instead of just outside. Where you can change your mask and take a plunge.
Sunshine smiling warm up inside your heart. Feeling of pure love. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat. Dancing to the beat up inside your heart. Whoa. Heartbeat of the world. Oh, Jamaican heartbeat.
Contact your travel agent today to book your staycation. RediscoverJamaica.com.
All right, so welcome back, folks. I trust that we are looking much better now. All right, so thank you for sticking and staying with us. Yes, so we're on the issue of the treaty that was signed by the Maroons back in the 1738, thereabout, right? So the Maroons, and I was at the point where I was talking about the quality of leadership that has been provided for those persons up there. Now, if you go into Maroon Town or into a compound town and you look at the state of affairs in there, one would question, how could a section of any country claim sovereignty, self-reliance, self-governance? How do you claim that level of consciousness with the standard of living that exists? And that's a question I would ask to Chief Curry and the others who have gone before him. Because if you ask me, I think it's a great injustice to the people there. Because for so many years, you've been given a piece of land that you believe, and from my understanding, it seemed to me like there's some controversy there with regards to the actual sovereignty of that space. Now, I am not for 1 minute questioning whether or not the Maroon community has legitimacy to that land. I believe that our ancestors have fought and would have been given that space to live and to occupy. But the treaty clearly states what it was given for and how it was supposed to be treated. Now, I cannot say with any certainty that we have lived up to the treaty. 1738 was when the Governor Trelawney, the name of the guy, who would have given those, signed that treaty on behalf of the British Crown at the time. Now I'm saying, if you have that space for so many years, right? It's to me, an underdeveloped area, an area where we could have done a lot more for those persons. But if that level of, I don't want to say ignorance, because I don't know what the literacy level is within the community. But if you walk in the community, you will see, you know, how the lifestyle of the people, the type of infrastructure that is there. And you will ask yourself the question, how can any space that declares self-governance, self-rule, just common sense to me tells me that if you claim that you are independent, right, then you must be independent to the extent that you can provide the basic commodity for your people. That to me is the basic, you know, requirements of sovereignty or independence. So when you look at the people in a compound town, you don't see that level of independence. From 1738 until now, 2020, has the Maroon community, under the leadership of several chiefs, as they would call, have they created any opportunity for the indigenous, as they would say, indigenous? That's another question sign that we have to debate and discuss. But have they created opportunities for the people within the area? Have they created a water system for the persons to be self-sufficient? Have they created an electric grid so that electricity can be powered in there? What have the leadership provide for the people of a compound town? What? Let us look at the road infrastructure going into a compound town. The biggest celebration in Jamaica is the 6th of January celebration up in St. Elizabeth, up there. And 2 cars can hardly pass on the road going up to a compound town. 2 vehicles cannot pass up there. Now, who do we blame? Do we blame central government or do we blame the leadership? Because what seemed to happen over the years is that every individual who assumed leadership for the Maroon community taken on a hostile approach to government, to central government. And if you take on what I consider a hostile posture towards the government, how do you expect the government to support you? Mark you, it is amazing because this current administration has contributed millions of dollars to that community. So I think sometimes the people within the community need to start examining the leadership. Don't be fooled by this posture of protectionism. Oh, I'm big and I'm mighty. I'm here to protect you. Don't be fooled by that. Don't be fooled by that. Look at your standard of living. And I'm speaking specifically to the Maroon community. Nobody can't tell me say me can't talk to Maroon. Me a Maroon too. So me have all the authority to speak. Just like Chief Curry. Start to look at the type of leadership that you have been given and provided with over the years. Has it been good for you? What has the leadership of the Maroon offered them so far? How different is a compound town today, 2021, from it was in 1738? How much difference it is? Let us make the comparison with an enslaved Maroon community and an independent Jamaica. Let us look at the two. How different is Jamaica today from what it was when we were under the British rule? I think there's a significant difference. Are we where we're supposed to be? Probably not. But we are certainly at a better place. Right? Can we say the same thing for the Maroon community? I'm not focused on the noise, you know. Because if the community has been offered and given proper leadership over the years, from Colonel Williams before, Petty before, all those colonels who have been there, can any of them point to anything that they have achieved? Anything significant? And that's where the conversation needs to go. Having the ability to plant some herb up in the hills is nothing to boast about. Jamaica's been planting ganja every year, everywhere. There's no difference between the weed we plant up our compound town. There's no difference between that weed and the weed we plant down a slipe. There's no difference. St. Elizabeth weed will still be the best weed. So there's nothing there to boast and to brag about. What I am saying is that these people boast about sovereignty. And we can get to that too. Because that is something that we need to talk about. When you read that treaty, and I'm going to put up the link. If somebody can put the link to that treaty in the group for me, I'd appreciate it. If we can post that up there. Because I want people to read the actual treaty that was signed by the Maroons. There are persons out there who believe that the British pulled a fast one on the Maroons. I don't know if that's an accurate statement. But what the treaty says, you know, the treaty says that the person who is appointed chief of the Maroon or colonel for the Maroon must be appointed by central government, you know. What currently exists in a compound town now is an election system where they have an election and an individual is elected to rule the Maroons. But if you go into the treaty, that process, the treaty doesn't speak to any election process, you know. The treaty spoke specifically to central government appointing a leader. That was what exists in the treaty. That is what is in the treaty. And I'm hoping that somebody can post it there for me so that everybody can see that. I'd love to be able to share it on this screen here. But unfortunately, I can't. But yeah, the treaty spoke specifically to that. So even if this thing were to be trashed out properly, and you know, nobody wants to take away anything from anybody. I don't think central government wants that. Because what we want, and what I would prefer to see, is that the people within that community get a better standard of living. There's nothing there for persons to be boasting and beating them chest about. Oh, we're a sovereign state. Sovereign state, you must be able to provide for yourself, provide for your people, create opportunities. That doesn't exist. Where does the people of a compound town get electricity from? Where does water come from? Who provide the road infrastructure? They don't pay taxes, right? So the rest of the country subsidize their living. So if we want to have the conversation, let us have the conversation in a meaningful way. Let us not just sit and dance around some argument that sounds good. Let us deal with the facts. Let us deal with what is on the table. The treaty says that you have the right to farm the land, cultivate the land. and you should not be paying taxes. There's nowhere in that treaty that the word sovereign state is mentioned. Nowhere. So where did this idea manufacture from? Where did this idea come from? That the people of a compound town is a sovereign state. A sovereign state within a state. How do we get to that level? Because you see, if we continue to preach misinformation to the people, generation after generation, because Curry is a younger chief. So Curry would have fed that steady diet of bullshit. And he would have consumed it heavily to the extent that he actually believe it. You can't be a sovereign state within a state. There's nothing like that. You're not an indigenous people. The people of Maroon Town is no different from me. Or you will live in a Balaclava, will live a Silo, will live a Magati, will live a Black River, will live a Newmarket. There's no difference. It's the same people. I brought some friend of mine to Maroon Town some time ago. And they were shocked. They asked me, well, how come the people up here is not different from everybody else? I said, there's no difference. It's the same people. There's absolutely no difference. It's the same people. But because this whole idea of sovereignty is being sold, and people buy it hook, line, and sinker, and start to spread it among the people, then the people come out and repeat the same thing, generation after generation after generation, and nobody take the time to say, let us actually dissect this treaty, break it down, and explain to the people what the true position is. I will never take away from the Maroon the historic fact that they fought against the British and won. I will not take away from the Maroons, my Maroon people, that they deserve every acre of land that has been given to them. Probably more. Probably more. Because in my research, it shows that the land for the Maroon is actually more than 1,500 acres. But that's another discussion. But giving land to somebody is not the end all of it. Because what do you do with that land? The treaty says that you have the right to rear cattle, to cultivate the land, plant your food, coffee, whatever it is. And you should not be molested in doing so. But here's a very interesting part of that treaty. There's a section of the treaty that spoke to if you raise cattle in that area, and if you plant produce in that area, and if you want to take it outside the area to sell it, you must seek permission from the local authorities. No, that's not how a sovereign state operates. So if there was some level of sovereignty there, then you would be free to go wherever. And that's why I'm saying to you that this whole argument about sovereign state need to be discussed and to be put to rest. Because it cannot be a sovereign state within a state. We have to get it right. So that my biggest problem is, as I said to you before, is the level of leadership that has been provided for the people of a compound town. No chief, including Chief Curry, should be proud of anything that has been achieved there. Right? According to what they're being portrayed out there. If you are a sovereign state, you've been sovereign since 1738. And since 1738, you have not developed a water system for yourself. You have not been able to generate your own electricity. You have not been able to provide your own road network and infrastructure for your people. Right? From 1738 until today, you're still unable for 2 vehicles to pass on the road going through Bethsaida. So what is there to boast about? What is there to boast about? What is there to beat our chest about? No, there's another issue that we have to deal with, and we have to be honest in our pronouncement. It appears, and let me just say appears, over the years, I know of a fact that several policemen have used that area as an extortion hotspot. Me know it of a fact. That is an area where a whole heap of people plant ganja up there. A whole heap of family member me have a plant herb. And what happen? Police will come when they know the weed is close for reaping. And they come with these intimidatory tactics to threaten them to take away their herb. And in most cases, they will have to pay monies over to the police. I cannot say that what we saw the other day, that was the case. But it would be unfair for me not to put that out there, because that is a reality. It happened for many, many years. A compound town, not just a compound town, from Whitehall to Retirement to Bethsaida, the whole area there have been targeted for extortion by police. And me don't care who want vex, is the truth. And when we saw what I saw the other day, what I know, when a legitimate police operation is being carried out in those areas, it is carried out in a very targeted, organized, and systematic way. What we saw the other day appears to be a little batched operation with 250 police and a truck. Didn't seem to me that that was a legitimate approach, because usually there are higher ranking officers and there are persons coming in with the requisite equipment to destroy farms with ganja. So what I saw the other day appears, in my judgment, to be a little wishy-washy move, somebody going to try and intimidate somebody to get some money. It happens all the time. And what I saw the other day is quite possible that that could be the case. Right? If the somebody's asking if the planting of ganja in that area is legal. The treaty spoke to planting and cultivating the land. It didn't specify what not to cultivate. It gave some examples: coffee, sugarcane, bananas, you name it. Could include ganja. It could include ganja. If it is that the treaty speaks to the right to farm the land, then they have the right to plant ganja too. Nothing wrong with ganja. They have the right to plant the weed up there. No. What if all the weed of them plant is for their own personal use there? When we can have a discussion about the cultivation of weed is when that said weed is now packaged to come out and to be sold outside the area. The treaty says if you're going to sell the weed, banana, cow, hog, goat, anything you're going to sell outside, you must first seek permission from the local authority. Now, of course, if that said weed was packaged to be sold in Montego Bay, for example, then you would have to seek some permission from the mayor. So I don't have an issue with the weed being planted there, because that's a point that they could take to court and possibly could win, because the treaty spoke specifically to that. If it is being sold outside. So if one is to be prosecuted for planting herb there, then that to me is a court matter. That to me is a matter that should go in front of the court to be ventilated. And I think the matter needs to be dealt with at that level, just to get it out there, because there's so much misinformation. There's so much misinformation. There's an argument out there that the state is saying that there's no such thing as maroon land. That's not true. That's not true. There's at least 1,500 acres that was given to the Maroons. At least. I saw another document that speaks to more than 1,500 acres. Right? Is Salem a part of the Maroon Treaty? That to me is questionable, because if you look at the geographic area, when you leave Whitehall going in to retirement, going into Whitehall, down at the bottom there, before you turn left to go up to a compound town, that's Best Salem. Once you turn in, you see Maroon Town, a compound town, has a big gate at the front, to enter the community itself. The road leading up to a compound town itself. That road, I don't think that road is a part of the landmass, And I don't want to speak on that specifically, because the honest truth is I don't know the boundaries. And I wanted to get somebody from the area on to at least speak to the boundaries that exist there, so we can have a better understanding. But some of the persons who would be, who has the authority to speak on the issue, they are so scared. I don't know why, but they are extremely scared and don't want to talk on the matter. So we have to just leave it there, because nobody wants to. Everybody's afraid. I don't know, afraid of Chief and him big gun. No, I cannot speak again. Person asking about the firearm that was brandished by Chief Curry. He has a shotgun. Sounds like it's a licensed shotgun. Licensed to the Firearm Licenses Authority. And again, you see, that is why I keep saying that we are getting mixed signal from these people. If it is that you have a licensed firearm, which is licensed outside of your community, why would you even go to that length to get a license from the Firearm Licenses Authority, which is not a part of Maroon Town? So this claim about sovereignty is what we need to put to rest. And that's why that discussion must be had at the highest level. Because there's no way that you can be a sovereign state, yet you are so dependent on the external forces to basically give you authority to rule. Which, like I said to you before, that's exactly how the treaty was designed. Treaty was designed that every time that there is a and if I still don't see anybody post it yet, I'm trying to get that article to be posted on the screen there, so persons can take a look at it. But every time that a chief is to be named, the recommendation should come from central government. That's what the treaty says. I didn't say it. I don't make it up. That's what it's a hunting gun. Yeah, it's a bird gun. We know that. But at the end of the day, I'm just speaking to how do we claim sovereignty over that space when you have to be dependent on the others for just about everything? One could question Jamaica's independence as well. How you doing there, Philip Edwards? Welcome, my friend. One could also question Jamaica's independence and the fact that we're still somewhat dependent on, the United States, Canada, Britain, and other forces. Well, that's a different ball game. There's some level of sovereignty and independence where Jamaica is concerned. But what level of independence does a compound town has? And the question I keep asking, just look at the basic. You see, if the United Nations doesn't approve or recognize a state as a sovereign state, you're not sovereign. And that is why I'm saying, has the United Nations recognized a compound town? The answer to that is no. The answer to that is no. And that's why we could have some idiot walking around telling people that he's some whatever for Maroon and he's issuing passport and identification and all that stuff. We just watering down what our forefathers has afforded us. The Maroon, the Nanny, and the Kojas have fought, and it is a shame sometimes to see what we have done with what they have given us. So, on that matter, my question is, what have the leadership of the Maroon community done significantly for its people? If that can be highlighted, I'd be more than happy to highlight it. But tell me what they have achieved. Very good friend of mine, who is a part of the Maroon community, Mystic Boy, very good guy. He's a philanthropist, an entertainer. He's from the Lacovia Burton district, but he has all the Maroon connection there is. He's a Maroon, and he has contributed significantly to that community. He in their whole governance structure, I think he's responsible for youth and culture there. But his foundation have contributed significantly. They have given, I think he sponsored a whole library. He built a library within the area and furnished with books and all that good stuff. And I think he also built a music studio there as well. So you have persons who contribute significantly to the Maroon community, independent of government. But what I would love to see, though, is a different style of leadership. And I'm very worried about the direction in which Chief Curry is leading these people. This us versus them. If you can't fight to win, then just calm down, because there's nothing here to fight about. There's nothing here to fight about. If the country were to say you're a legitimate sovereign state, what does that leave you with? How would you govern if they were to leave you, cut you loose, and say, go ahead, chant your own course? How would you survive? How would you live? I mean, that would be something to talk about. So let us look at the leadership. Let us look at what has been afforded to the people so far, and not just argue with government, but let us argue with the leadership there, because I think that's where the real conversation needs to be. The conversation needs to be about achievement, and I cannot point to anything substantial that has been achieved over the years. All right. Now, vaccine, and more vaccine. Like I've said to you last week, guys, one of the most effective logistics tool in this country is the political machinery of both political parties. There's no other logistic group in this country that is more effective than the political machinery. And if the government, the government should engage these people as much as possible to get them involved in the movement of vaccine, because that is where we're going to get to herd immunity quicker than you can imagine. I think if the political party, embark on a campaign to engage its party workers. Let's start with party workers. Party workers is, in my estimation, a low-hanging fruit. If you can get party workers to be vaccinated and to invite somebody else or to bring along folks to be vaccinated, let's use the same method. Don't reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already there. Use the same method that you use to garner votes. Use that very same method to get persons to be vaccinated. I think this argument about the legitimacy of the vaccine is nonsense, and it is full time that we don't entertain that discussion. Doesn't matter who, because some of that discussion is coming from persons who are highly educated and should know better. Jamaica is perhaps one of the most vaccinated countries on earth, right? You cannot get into any school in Jamaica as a child without having all the necessary shots that you should have. And that's why it is so surprising that teachers would be against vaccine. But let me go back to teachers real quick, because last week we came down a little bit hard on the teachers, not knowing that some 70% or thereabout of teachers has been vaccinated. About 70%. Minister Favour Williams released that number on Monday of last week, that about 70% of teachers have been vaccinated, and that is commendable. That is commendable. So while last week we took aim at the teachers and we tried them for refusing or not wanting to participate in the process of vaccination, they actually did. So let me just put these numbers out there. The numbers, if you want to participate in the program for the next few minutes that we have on, it's 866-0675. That's 1-876-866-0675. You can call us on WhatsApp or you can call us straight. But yeah, so the teachers have been about 70%. And I think the other groupings, we're going to put the numbers out on the page as well for the other group of persons, the doctors and other government workers who've been vaccinated. But the argument still stands that if you have access to vaccine and refuse to be vaccinated, then you're on your own. You're on your own. If you work for a company, yes, that's about 70%, Camille, that have been vaccinated. Because it would have been unfortunate, because how could teachers are the ones who enforce the rules that kids are not to be admitted in class unless they are vaccinated. So why would teachers not want to take the vaccine? That was sort of mind-boggling to me. But now that information came out, we have to put it out there that, contrary to what we thought was a reluctancy on the teachers' part, where as it relates to vaccine, that is not so, because a whopping 70% of them have been vaccinated, and that's a very, very good sign. Very, very good sign. We received 300,000 doses from England, and I believe, based on what we heard recently, is that about 110 to 120 doses have already been administered. So we still have some doses to be sent out. In the coming week or two, I believe, the United States is sending us another 200,000 doses of vaccine. So based on what the ministry had released to us, somebody is telling me that it's 68% of the teachers that have been vaccinated. Well, that was close enough to 70. So that's not bad. Either way you slice or dice it, it's not bad. That's very, very good. St. Catherine has a 50-year-old? Yeah, somebody's posting some of the numbers there for for persons who have succumbed and for the COVID numbers. So the United States is giving us another 200,000 doses of vaccine starting a couple weeks, I believe. So we will have on the ground at least 300,000 to 400,000 doses of vaccine here to be administered. And that's why the process should just be open. Just open the whole thing up, Minister, and let's get to work. I think this whole making appointment, and there's no bureaucracy that is needed in this. Just forget about any system. The only system that should be in place is a system of making sure that one needle to one person. Open it up, let all Jamaicans go in there who can find a way to a vaccine site go. Who cannot, we should take it to them. There's so many persons, and I cannot understand for the life of me, why is it that we're not mobilizing from that end, where we take the vaccine? I mean, let me not say why, because the government is actually doing that. So let me not just say why, because I know that they are providing the resources to bring the vaccines to the persons, because that is what is necessary. If we are going to have an effective vaccine campaign, we have to start go house to house. You know, that is how we fought polio, rubella, measles, chickenpox, and all that stuff back in the days. I don't know if anybody remember we used to get that drop on our tongue. Right. Camille is saying that has started, where they are now going into the community, which is right. The member of parliaments and councils and all those persons should get their workers list out, canvass your workers list, find out who is vaccinated, who is not, and get it going. See, everybody has to contribute in their own little way. You know, any way that you can contribute in making this thing a success, let's do it, because the quicker we can get this country at herd immunity, is the quicker we can go back to some normal life. Right now, because we cannot afford. I don't want anybody to tell me what time to wake up in the morning and what time to go to bed. I don't want any government at all. Doesn't matter Labour or PNP. I don't want no prime minister dictate to me what time I should go to bed and what time I should wake up. So let us move fast to get this country back to herd immunity, where, you know, we can better manage and control so we can get back to normal life. Country suffering. Last week we spoke about the debt to GDP and how significant of a change that is, because we have now gone down from 96 back up to 100 and odd percent of debt to GDP. We don't see the effect of that yet, but it's coming. We're going to see it. We're going to feel it. We're feeling it in prices now. Prices have gone out of whack. Nobody wants to discuss it because it has political implications. You know, it has political implications, so people are a little bit reluctant in discussing it. But like I said to you before, we have a few minutes. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to go to the phone lines and talk to some of our people. So stand by, stick and stay. We're going to take a quick 10-second, and we will be right back.
Spice up your winning! New game supreme upon the scene. Hot pick a do it and it easy if you win. Pick any number from 1 to 15. Then all you do is watch all your winnings come in. All you need a $10. You can bet it and make it in $100. You might even win a 110 or 130. And the best money this you ever spend, dada. Hot pick, Supreme Ventures, this are the new hot topic. So easy if you win, check your ticket for the payout where you get, then wrap up your money in the elastic.
See there, we're catching number 7. You win $100, CC you win 110, and so what wins with 130? Hot pick, easy to win.
Easy if you win, me say it, easy if you win. Easy if you win, me say it.
Introducing Hot Pick, the hot new way to play from Supreme Ventures. Prizes are random. 6 draws per day. Visit supremeventures.com for details.
Easy to play, easy to win. A spice to that.
All right, so greetings everybody. Welcome back. We're in the final segment of the program. We're going to take a few phone calls. Our first call online. Caller, blessings, greetings. How are you doing? Hello.
And good night to Yes, hello, yes. Good night to you and good night to your producer. Camille is her name now?
We have several producers out there, yes.
Okay. Yes. I just want to weigh in on the two quick points that you have brought out. First, I want to weigh in on the Akompom town.
Go right ahead, sir. Yes.
They got when they received that piece of land, I think it was from the British and thing. They are not a sovereign state because
Call your break.
The Maroons has to depend on the local authority for any sovereignty.
Mm-hmm. Call, you're breaking up a little bit there, man. I can hardly hear you.
Tell me if you can hear me. Hear me now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Pertaining to the vaccines, right, for both teacher and the wider public. I serve on a school executive, you see, and
yes.
School, but to the wider society all around the island, I don't think the 68%.
The caller is going in and out. The call, we're breaking up from this call a little bit. We're going to try to see if we can reconnect with him because he's making some very good points there. But the numbers to call us is 876-866-0675 if you want to participate in the program. There is 656 new cases today of COVID-19 vaccine. Sorry, of COVID-19 cases. Let that sink right all the way in because this thing is no joke. I just got a phone call earlier about somebody who lost their life to COVID. It is not a joke. People are getting sick. This new strain, I'm almost certain it's here. There's no official word that it is, but based on the level of infection that we're seeing, it's apparent that there are some new cases here. Yes, Bridget, we spoke about that whole we spoke about that case there earlier. So with regards to the Speaker of the House, we brought that out as soon as it broke earlier, and we spoke about it. So nothing there to report. But yeah, there is the gentleman is right. He spoke to the treaty. His numbers was going in and out there. We couldn't follow through with that discussion. But the numbers, if you want to join us, we have a few minutes to go. The number is 876-866-0675. That's the number to join us. Caller, you're on. Blessings, how you doing?
Hello?
Blessings, Julius.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Give thanks, man. You're live. You're on air. You're on the block.
Okay. We're just dozing up, man. Holding
Good.
so long. Well, listen, how are you, man?
I am doing fantastic, sir. How about yourself?
Looking, living, and learning.
Yes.
3 quick topics.
Yes.
1, the trimming of the curl.
The trimming of the young lady in Clarendon. Yes.
It's wrong. It's rude. It should have not happened.
So let me ask you a question before you go an inch further.
Let me just state them and then you write them down and we deal with each of them. Let me state them. The trimming of the girl wrong, rude, and it should not have happened and must never happen again. 1. 2. The Maroon situation, running out the police. It's wrong, it's rude, and it should not have happened. The police must have right to go anywhere in Jamaica. When Adams invaded Tivoli, I believe it's the commissioner or the minister of security, so the police can go anywhere.
Anywhere, absolutely.
1, 2, 3. What was the third one again? The team down in Old Harbor, Barry Warmington, disrespecting the senior police officer. Nobody said anything about it. It's wrong, it's rude, and it should not have happened.
You're talking about Everald Warmington?
Yes, yes. Those are the 3 things. So we can go ahead and discuss it.
All right, first thing first. The trimming of the young lady in Clarendon.
Yes.
Who trim her?
It is alleged that it's police. It's a good one that it's alleged that the police that I said it is wrong. So
if you can get past that, when you get past that hurdle, then we can discuss it. As long as somebody can come to me and tell me that the police trim her in 2021, I don't know of any police in Jamaica as dumb as they are. And I'll put that on record. I don't know of any police that is dumb enough to take up a scissors and trim a rasta.
All right, for this conversation, what do you think happened down there?
Sir, I'm not a member of the force. I don't live in Clarendon. I don't even know the police station there. But I can tell you, common sense, apply some common sense now. In 2021, and we can put this on record, no police with any brain is going to take up a scissors and trim anybody in Jamaica. It's not going to happen. And as far-fetched as it is, it's not impossible, but it is highly improbable that that is the case. But let us wait and see, because there's an investigation and the truth will come out.
Okay, all right, so put that on pause.
Yes.
Let us deal now with the Maroon and the police. What happened there?
The Maroon and the police. The Maroon have a history of being targeted by police for extortion, because the Maroon community is a safe haven for the planting of ganja over the years.
Okay.
And police usually...
You use the term extortion.
Yes, extortion. I'm not going to hide and talk. Extortion. Where police will go there when they know that the ganja near for reap and target them, threaten them, intimidate them, and collect money.
Yes, I know how police work done.
All right. So, by them showing some level of aggression, when they saw police, I can understand. However, the other part of the conversation is the sovereignty of the state. The sovereignty. We can talk about that as a separate case. You know? As I said to you, I know why the Maroons would react the way they reacted when they see police. A matter of fact, if they did come with a helicopter in the air, and 3 truck, and a khaki suit man, and 20, 30 police deep, with cutlass and waka and everything, all Maroon would have back down. But when Maroon say 3 or 4 little police come with one truck, they know what that means. I don't know, real operation that.
Yeah, because I was most upset when I saw it at the front there, because I'm saying nobody not supposed to run no police.
Exactly. They know why they were doing that. They were doing that because the operation didn't come across as legitimate.
Okay. So the third one now.
Yes.
Why? You call him Everald.
Everald Warmington. You say Everald Warmington disrespected the police officer?
No, a senior police officer.
Senior or no senior, it doesn't matter. Police are police.
Knowing that it was being videotaped. It is rude. It is wrong. It must not be tolerated.
But do you know what happened before what we saw in the video? Do you know what transpired prior to?
With all of that, especially it being videotaped, you shouldn't have gone so far. With all of that, a whole lot of things that will happen on the video when we see people leak out from, but them don't know what happened before. But with all of that, the same way they cut.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know what transpired prior to what you saw in the video?
That's what I'm saying. It's all of that. With all of that, his behavior, no concurrent, or no, what you call it now? Value that reaction.
I agree with you. As a member of parliament, You have to control yourself. Yes. Yes. I agree. But
see, like when the police run go shoot you and they say them said no, actually shoot him never have no gun in innocent anyway. A police can operate like a gunman.
But you have to, but Carla, you have to, Julius, you have to look at it from two sides, you know. I agree with you in no uncertain term that you have to control yourself. When you're at a certain level in the society, you have to control how you deal with people. But at the same time, the police have a responsibility to know their surrounding. Don't you believe? Let me ask you this. Don't you believe that that police was aware of who the individual was?
Yes.
Then if you know who that individual was, why would you be questioning the person's whether or not he's authorized to be where he was?
You know, it's because of the whole curfew thing.
But you know who is exempt from the curfew. If you know your duties and you know what is happening and you know the individual, you would have known that members of parliament are exempt.
Yeah.
So even though
you know, some politics is at play there. When I say politics, I don't mean like out there.
But you know you're a smart man though. You're a smart man.
Some things that play there. But
Something that play.
upset about the reaction at the time.
I agree, but you see they know Warmington too, and they know Warmington not take no prisoners, so they
yeah,
go
push him.
Yes. Yeah, man. But I appreciate the link.
No. One quick thing before I go.
Yes.
Very important. The Minister of National Security and the Police Commissioner.
Yes.
We need to get one of them and a thing. Something is happening that is wrong and it must stop.
Tell me.
Something tantamount to fraud.
Fraud?
These guys, yeah, you see these guys, and they are presiding over it. You see these guys, they have the young girl and the young boy, they have sit down in the community them and call them Zozo. It can't be done like that. Them have a patrol, them have a search, they're collecting money under false pretense. Chopper, all of them just sit on one place and all they're doing is using the phone, looking girls, then breed up a whole girl and then I'm down there until I get didn't know this.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
All them do just sit down and look for no patrol, no nothing. And the outside, if I shot for you, if I the outside police, I'm have to drive and go there. And I walk past them with things and do this. It can't happen. Them have to take with them bench and take with them chair when them have them must have patrol. That's how that goes. They must have to. Remember when that thing that just come in?
Yeah, man, that's true. That is true.
Remember how much gun them say them fight?
No, they're not searching for nothing now. It's out of water down.
5 minutes from Spanish Town Road down and then I've done station for country right now. Because two different checkpoints them having. But no everybody is full. And that is the situation with Jamaica, no matter what rule. You remember that thing of them bringing about tint in a car gas?
Yeah, man. After a while, it gone, man. 9-day wonders, man. Most of these things are break down in 9 days. You're right.
And the same thing, the 9-day wonder thing, everything.
True.
It's good thing soon down, you know. Everything will come on like that is just like excitement. But the Zozo thing of taxpayers' money are paid. And better bring back the old police and come put it. Renita Adams and bigger fool and some people upset.
Yeah, but
come enjoy that.
But then the man now go bring anything to your table.
No, but then they sit on there. Then the police I send them for road.
I like Adams now. What Adams that bring to your table?
And then just the thing with me afraid of Chris. Chopper. I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, you know, an incident happened, you know, they kill a man, you know, and how much police and whatever get in jail. When something happens now, you know, you have them people that sit on like a target because nobody's in a defense mode. Everybody's at ease. The soldier especially should always be in a defense mode. Go there and look at them, no man if you think a joke.
No, trust me, I believe every word you say.
You can't do it like that. I need to say something to them, man. It can't happen. It can't continue. I'm
going to voice it.
Yeah, man, it's a big truck and waste some money, man. You know, best said, man.
Give thanks. Thank you for calling, sir. All the best. Yeah, man. Yes, folks. We still can take a couple more before we close this off. It's 876-866-0675. The numbers to call if you want to chit chat for a moment. We are live on the block with yours truly. The lady said, "Must leave Wami alone. Wami is her MP. Must leave Wami alone." You see, this whole trimming of the young lady down there in Clarendon, very unfortunate incident. But I cannot and I will not accept until I hear that there is concrete evidence that the police actually trimmed this young lady. Greetings, caller. Welcome.
Hello, Chopper.
Yeah, man. Blessings. Welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes. Just want to finish up my point that I was trying to put to you. You see, this 60. So because I serve on a school executive, that is not enough to really have school face to face come September. All auxiliary staff, everybody, including myself, although I take my 2 jobs already, whatever vaccinated for September, right? And here we have about 300,000
The caller, we're losing that caller there. He's breaking up big time. Don't know what's happening with the connection. Poor connection with that caller, but he's making some point there, and he's speaking as a member of a school board executive. So we'd really love to hear what he has to say. Caller, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead, man. It's much better now. Yes, go ahead.
Right. You see, and here we have 300,000 doses of Pfizer vaccines coming in the island this Tuesday.
Yes.
And the children 12 years old and over can take this vaccine. Now, this is where I, as a school administrator, having a problem because I am trying to get the quite a few parents to go and get their job, and I've been hearing the narratives about surrounding the vaccine and so on. So what are they going to tell me now when I urge them to allow their children to go out and take the vaccine?
What are the parents going to say to you?
Well, actually the parents have been giving me some narratives out there, or I should say, a few parents have been giving me some negative reaction out there surrounding the vaccine, and already a few of them refuse
to be vaccinated.
Right. They are telling me that they don't want their children to be vaccinated.
Well, you ask them the question, caller. Ask them, how did their child got to be admitted in school in the first place? Ask them to provide you with their immunization card. Because what a lot of parents fail to recognize is that the said vaccine that they are criticizing now is the same vaccine that they themselves have taken in the past. And the very kids that we're talking about now would have been vaccinated up until now.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, Chopper, I asked them the very question: if their kids doesn't take vaccination a long time ago, and that is what allowed them to be admitted in school in this very day, And I even asked them if when they were kids, if they didn't go out and take vaccination against polio, right, and all the other viruses, and so on, and that is what allowed them to go into school.
Every time, caller, every time that question or that discussion comes up, because I am almost certain that 99% of the Jamaicans who will come to you and say something negative about vaccine have been vaccinated, have an immunization card, and their kids would have been vaccinated. If their kids participate in public schools in Jamaica, you must be vaccinated. If you live in the United States, you must have taken all your shots. So a lot of persons who are talking is because they're not educated or they're not reminded. That is why the government will now have to ramp up its campaign to sensitize persons on what this vaccine is. Because I'm surprised that there were so many Jamaicans who weren't even aware that vaccine and immunization is the same thing. The two did not, had no correlation in some people's mind. So it took a lot of work to get people to understand that, big man, the same little brown immunization card where you have, where you used to get the drop on your tongue, you get a stick in your arm, or you get a stick in your butt as a youth. There's no difference. It's the same thing now. This is just a new one. You know?
Exactly. I tell them, I tell them. But you see, even the Honorable Prime Minister said that what he has to do now is to, just like during the election, he go out and he campaign and ask people for their vote. He said that is what he has to do now for the vaccine. Go out, go campaign as his town cry, just to really allow people to come and take the vaccine, right? But this final appeal before I go, and because I would really like somebody else to have a talk with you. I am appealing to all Jamaicans. Robert, I take the vaccine. As a matter of fact, I get my 2 jobs. And make I tell something, I am quite okay. I don't have no side effect, right? And one of the reasons why I take the vaccine, Jamaicans, is because I want this thing to stop spread across the length and breadth of Jamaica, and I would like all of us as Jamaicans to return to normal life. And the only way we as Jamaicans can return to living normally, as if all you Jamaicans who refuse to take the vaccine, please go out and take the vaccine. I don't want this 300,000 that we have now. If enough people don't go out and take the vaccine and the date expire, so the government have no other alternative but to dump them. If the government dump them, they dump them to your detriment people. So please, I beg you, go out and take the vaccine.
Blessings. Great encouragement, my brother. Thank you so much for your call.
Right. Okay, then, and you would enjoy yourself, your evening, yourself.
Yeah, man, enough respect. Appreciate it. And that's what we're looking for. Persons to encourage others to get vaccinated. Because look, the quicker we can get to the level where this virus won't have the ability to mutate and to change colors and come back in a different form, is the quicker we'll get back to normal behavior. And it is to the benefit of every Jamaican. So if each one of us who understand the thing to a certain level can encourage others, because I was amazed. I was listening to Cliff Hughes' program recently, and they had, I think it was Friday Friday evening, and they had a PTA president, somebody who's a president for a parent teachers association. And she was saying that she had issues with the vaccine and some of some nonsense that she was saying. I was amazed. Because I'm saying to myself, if she is in leadership position and is not understanding the issue, how is she going to pass on anything meaningful to the other parents? So we see where there's an issue there, and I'm hoping that we'll get the public campaign up and running. Such a pity we didn't spend some money and do some serious marketing as it relates to sensitizing Jamaicans more about this vaccine. People don't know. People don't know the origin of the vaccine. People don't understand the mechanism of it, how it is made up, the mRNA, how those things needed to be explained to the average Jamaicans. I don't think we took time out to do that. Instead, we rely on social media and we rely on traditional media to spread it naturally. And what they did was to spread, in some cases, false and fake information. So we're hoping that the government will ramp that up a little bit and continue to vaccinate. So spread the word, folks. Get as much persons as you can. Robert, we see you. We see you in the building. Charlene, we see you as well. Bartley, Swaby, good to see you, sir. Maureen Simpson, good to see you as well. Kenroy Thomas, and all of you guys. Camille, thank you so much for joining. That is why the head of the Rocky Point, the head of the JDF Rocky Mead, and also that isn't. Oh, right. So what Camille is saying, apparently that there is some report that says the head of the JDF, Major General Rocky Mead, says no soldier that isn't vaccinated will be eligible for promotion. And I agree. I think that position should be right across the board, because you have to sometimes save people from themselves, Shall Will, big up yourself. Yeah, you have to save people. Kenroy Thomas, what you do? You have to save people from themselves. And if you're not vaccinated, like I said to you earlier, if you're on the program, 150 deep, and if you're on this program and you're not vaccinated, take away yourself. This is not for you. If you're not vaccinated, take away yourself. This program is for vaccinated individuals only. We have come to the end of another beautiful Sunday evening. Thank you so much for joining. Jerry Perry, big up yourself. Good to see you. Shireen Small, good to see you, my friend. Spread the word. Tell the world. The Chopping Block is back with yours truly. I can turn on my hat now. Can I turn around my hat now? Boom. In your face. Coming to a town near you. Chopping Block is back. Full effect. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chops Media. That's Chops Media at Instagram and on our YouTube channel. Press that notification bell. That means you'll be notified every time we go live or every time we post new material. Thank you so much for your continued support. Another one in the bag. Chopping Block with yours truly. Alex Higgs, we see you. You're in the building. I see Keisha Mack. Keisha Mack is in the building. Well, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the Taliban. The Taliban declared victory from the, oh, look at that. Just in, footage emerged of Taliban leader declaring victory from the presidential palace in Kabul. That means Kabul has fallen to the Taliban. Folks, this is 20 years ago that the United States embarked on a campaign for regime change in Afghanistan. And today, 20 years later, the United States has removed its troops from Afghanistan. And today, the Taliban is back in control. And just a few minutes ago, footage emerged of the Taliban declaring victory from the presidential palace in Kabul. Those are some significant development down there in Afghanistan. If you follow the history of that region, you would understand where we're coming from. The Russians had occupied Afghanistan for 20 or 30 years and had to retreat. And after the Russians retreat, the Al-Qaeda was setting up shop, working alongside the Taliban. 9/11 happened. The United States invaded, took it over, and started regime change. Simultaneously with Iraq. And 20 years later, the United States retreat. And the Taliban is back in control of Afghanistan. What will that mean for politics in that region? How will that affect the stability of that region? For example, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, and all those countries in and around that area. Watch the chopping block next week as we will explore those happenings down there in those parts of the world. Again, thank you so much for joining us. It's another week. Peace. And we are out. Pop, 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 pop.